I am Denis Will. I am working for Citroën Heritage Department. I'm looking after the heritage of Citroën, the collection of the cars. We have, not far from Paris, we have 250 cars there. You can visit every day. Nearly 1 century ago, in June 1919, André Citroën showed the first A-Type in Paris, and the first customer was delivered on July 1919. So 1 century after, we are already there, and we produce nearly 55 million cars since this time. So it's a big success, and in 1 century we made famous cars like A-Type, traction avant, 2CV, H-Type, DS, SM, Mary, and so on. So it's a very nice story, and André Citroën in fact succeeded because in 1919 there was no Citroën cars, and now a lot all over the world. Since the beginning of the brand in the 20s, André Citroën want to sell the Citroën cars nearly everywhere in the world. It was not so easy because there was some administrative problems, but he made a lot of dealers everywhere to sell cars, and factories also in different countries, especially in South America. And nowadays we are present in nearly 100 countries in the world. I am in the most popular model. It is the 2CV. It was produced 42 years, and more than 5 million cars were produced. So it was a success, and it's part of the story of the brand, of course. In fact, the 2CV was presented in Paris Motor Show in 1948, and the first car delivered in 1949. Here, I am in a 1950 model, so one of the beginning, with a very little engine, 2-cylinder, air-cooled, but it was not very powerful, but it was very efficient on the road because the suspension were very soft and very efficient in the town, and even on ground, you know, on bad tarmac or on a gravel. It was a very efficient car. This is why it was a success all over the world. In fact, the boss of Citroën at the moment in the 30s was Mr. Boulanger. And he said to the engineers, I want a car which will be able to go in a very bad road with eggs inside, and I want at the end of the road no eggs broken. This is a true story, and he wants also a lot of room for the people and the moment. This is why, you know, there is a lot of space in this car, and this is also part of the, I would say, of the beginning of the study of the 2CV. I am 191 meter, so not far from 2 meters, and it was quite easy for me to go in the 2CV. You know, personally, I've got a 2CV. I like it. It's a model from '79. But it's very nice it's not very powerful, you don't go fast, but it's another way to look at the road and I would say, to drive a car, and a special car. People outside look at you, even if it's not a sports car, motor sports car, but they love the 2CV. And you don't need the radio because you have the engine, with the noise of the engine, and it's possible to open the roof. If it's sunny, you can open and you are outside, I would say. And it's a way of life, in fact, the 2CV. The traction avant, it is the last car launched by André Citroën before he disappeared. But it was a big study, because this car with the traction avant, it's a car which is easy to drive. And what André Citroën wants to put this technology on a car for everybody, for his customers. So it was not so easy in the 30s to do that. And in fact, this car will be a success because the car will be produced from 34 to 57, and more than 700,000 traction were produced. And we were the first car maker in France to do this type of car before the others. The other car makers in France did also traction avant, but only in the 60s, and we were in the 30s. We have nearly 30 years before then we were there. And you know, for everybody, a traction avant, it's a very efficient car, so you can go everywhere, even if on snow, on gravel, and you will be always okay with the traction avant. And we were there before the other. The Citroën DS, we are in 55. It's also a big event for the brand, because a lot of technology is in this car with the hydraulic system. So you have a power steering, you have a semi-automatic gearbox, very comfortable suspension with different possibility of level, and also a very efficient brakes with the hydraulic system. So and the design is very special, you know, and the car will be at this moment the people are astonished by this car, and finally we will produce nearly 1.5 million of DS from 55 to 75, and I would say nearly all over the world, and it's a very well-known cars for Citroën. And at the end of the last century, it was elected of car of the century, you know.
Okay. The DS also has a story about Charles de Gaulle.
It was the DS was the car of the president of the France, and especially General de Gaulle. And in '62, this car saved his life, because some people want to kill the General de Gaulle, the president, and they shot in the car. But even with a flat tire, he can continue the road, and like that he was safe. And why he can do that? Because of the hydraulic suspension and the good direction of the car.
Next, so you know, not everybody knows what this is. Could you tell me a little bit about this industrial vehicle?
The H-Type. We are in 47, and we launched the H-Type. It's a van car, you know, but with the traction avant technology. It means you have traction avant like the normal car, but for a van. And with this type of technology, you have a lot of space at the back of the van, and you have also a door on the side, easy to go in, to go out, and very easy to put a lot of things inside. And it was a good success in France and in Europe, because this van was really more efficient than the other brands. In fact, in Africa, we began to sell cars more after the Second World War, but before, in the André Citroën period, we want to show the reliability of the car, so we go to make some cruise in Africa, crossing of the Sahara in 22-23, and the Black Cruise in 24-25, and we cross with Auto Chenille half-track car, you know, you can see one here, to show the performance and the reliability of the Citroën cars. And after, in the 60s and 70s, we made rally. We participated at different rallies. We won rallies with the DS, with the SM, with the CX, for example, in 77, 78 in Senegal Tour. And we want to show that we are a very efficient car maker there. So we have also a story in Africa, of course. The future is like, since the beginning, we want to make good cars for our customers, and we want comfortable cars, like the 2CV, like the traction avant, like the DS, and we are also working for good design. This is why there are a lot of concept cars here to show the evolution of the design, but we want to create cars which are different from the others with a good comfort. Now, it's not possible to go fast, but we want safe car, but we want the customer, we want him to be positive in the car, to have a good feeling. We say, many times we say, feel good with Citroën. So with a Citroën, the customer can be very happy and enjoy the road with his car. Here at the Retromobile show, we are very happy to be there because of the century of the brand. But we are proud to show 30 cars. It was a lot of work to show that we are still there. We are a car maker from 19 until today. The life is not so easy in one century, but we are still there with different models, and we are working also for the future. But of course, when we are doing a new car, we are always looking what we did before, and we take all our experience, our knowledge about the car from the past for the future. Hello Argentina, welcome to the Retromobile show. Hola Citroën Argentina.